A loaded truck approached a sharp turn, with a scooter carrying two riders close behind. As the truck slowed to complete the turn, the scooter also came to a stop just behind it. Suddenly, due to a mechanical issue, the truck began rolling backward. The riders tried to reverse slowly, but the limited space left them vulnerable as the truck continued to move back. In moments, the scooter tipped over, showing how quickly road situations can escalate when heavy vehicles and smaller vehicles share close quarters. Two key precautions stand out here. Truck drivers should always check their braking systems and use parking brakes properly when stopping on inclines or turns. And for riders, maintaining a safe following distance provides vital reaction time if a larger vehicle moves unexpectedly. Road safety is not just about your own vehicle, it's about anticipating the movement of others. At a cement plant, several workers entered a ball mill to inspect a technical issue, while others positioned themselves on top of the machine. The team assumed the equipment was properly secured, but suddenly the ball mill began rotating, either because it had not been fully shut down or was mistakenly restarted from the controls. With workers still inside and on the surface, this unexpected motion created a highly dangerous scenario that could have been avoided with stricter safeguards. Before performing maintenance on heavy machinery, strict lockout and tag-out procedures must always be followed. No worker should enter or approach moving equipment until power sources are fully isolated and verified. Clear communication, signage, and control locks are essential to prevent accidental restarts. Because in industrial safety, machines don't wait, and only proper procedures keep workers protected. Inside a factory, two workers were operating a mechanical press machine. They placed a sheet of material under the press, with one worker adjusting it for proper alignment. At the same time, another worker moved toward the controls, unaware that his partner's hands were still near the press. In a moment of miscoordination, the machine was activated while the material was still being positioned, showing how dangerous even a small lapse in communication can be. Press machines require strict safety protocols. Operators should always use clear signals before activating equipment, and no one should remain near moving parts once the cycle begins. Safety barriers, lockout systems, and proper communication can prevent accidents like this. Because when working with presses, coordination is just as important as the machine itself. Inside a workshop, a worker was operating a radial drilling machine. Focused on his task, he remained seated close to the rotating drill. But as the spindle continued moving, it slowly reached the area where he was positioned. When the worker stood up, unaware of the drill's position, his clothing made contact, pulling him into the machine's rotation. In just seconds, routine work showed how quickly hazards can appear when distance is ignored. Operators must always keep a safe position when working with rotating machinery. Loose clothing, lack of barriers, and staying too close to moving parts can lead to dangerous situations. Using protective guards, maintaining proper posture, and staying alert to machine movement are essential. Because in machining, awareness of your surroundings is as important as the work itself. Inside a warehouse, one worker pushed up a rolling shutter to leave. As another stepped forward, the shutter unexpectedly came loose and fell down. What looked routine instantly revealed the risks of worn or faulty fixtures. Regular inspection of shutters, doors, and overhead equipment is essential. Workers should never pass beneath until mechanisms are fully secured. Even everyday movements require safety awareness. Inside a factory, a worker was welding metal rods onto a wall. Unknown to the team, flammable material was located just above the work area. As sparks and heat rose, the material caught fire and the flames spread almost instantly. Another worker rushed in with a fire extinguisher, but the blaze had already grown beyond control, quickly moving through sections of the factory. Hot work like welding must always be done with proper fire safety precautions. This includes removing or shielding any flammable materials, having certified fire watch personnel nearby, and keeping adequate extinguishing equipment ready. Even a small spark can trigger a large fire if the environment isn't properly prepared. In welding safety, prevention before the first spark is the most important step. A man was climbing a ladder set against a wall while another person held it steady from below. But the ladder was positioned on a smooth tiled floor, offering little grip. As he stepped upward, the base suddenly slid out and the ladder lost stability, turning a simple task into an unexpected hazard. Ladders should always be placed on non-slip, stable surfaces. If the floor is smooth, anti-slip pads or securing the base is essential. Maintaining the correct angle and ensuring firm footing can prevent sudden slips. With ladders, stability at the bottom is the key to safety at the top. Inside a factory, a worker was operating a machine that suddenly malfunctioned. During the breakdown, the worker became trapped within the equipment's structure. The situation highlighted how quickly routine tasks can change when machinery isn't operating as expected. What should have been a standard shift turned into an urgent reminder of why maintenance and emergency planning are so critical. Every machine must be inspected regularly. An operator should be trained to recognize early signs of mechanical failure. Near an oil facility, a crane was moving at high speed along the road. At the same time, an oil tanker entered the intersection, continuing straight across. In seconds, the crane collided with the tanker, striking it with enough force to overturn the heavy vehicle. The tanker fell onto its side, and fuel began leaking across the roadway, creating a highly dangerous situation. Moments later, the spilled fuel ignited, and fire spread quickly around the tanker. The driver, realizing the danger, broke through the front glass of the cab and managed to escape on foot. What began as a simple crossing on the road had now escalated into a full industrial emergency. This incident highlights two vital safety principles: road discipline and hazardous material handling. Heavy vehicles must always reduce speed near industrial crossings, where visibility and reaction time are limited. For tankers carrying flammable material, reinforced protocols, including emergency shutoff valves, fire suppression systems, and driver escape training, are essential. And for everyone on site, coordination between factories and road operators is key to preventing such high-risk collisions. In transport safety, one reckless moment can endanger not just a driver, but an entire facility.